If you want to be a good college baseball player and have your name on the wall, be good at baseball, have great academics, and put your social life on hold for 5 years.
So this is Coach Ryan Beckman, St. Pete College, and he is a native of the area. Ryan went to Dunedin High School, where I went to high school. Played at Hillsborough Community College, correct?
Pasco Hernando Community College.
Pasco Hernando. God, I forget. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And
Over 20
Ryan
years.
was actually, Ryan was actually one of the first guys I helped to work out to get into college, and hard worker, man. Hard worker. That Dunedin tradition, right? We got it going. And he coached at Calvary. Calvary Baptist or Calvary, I can't remember it.
Calvary Christian. Yep.
Calvary Christian. Yep. Also helped at Dunedin High School, and is a baseball nut. Has been coaching everywhere. Just he just loves baseball, and now he's got the great gig of St. Pete College, which is, if you've been down to the campus there, he can throw a rock and hit the Phillies game, and then right down the street is his wife is a front office person for the Dunedin Blue Jays, spring training home of the Blue Jays, where if I stepped out of my house, I could throw a rock and hit that field for my family's house. And that's where the Blue Jays and Dunedin High have had the rights to play at that field since the Blue Jays came in, 75, or I think 78, 75.
Yeah, something around that time.
Yeah, so we've been blessed by being Dunedin and being all about it. And now we're lucky enough to have Ryan coaching right in town, which means we get a guy that is going to lay it on the line all the time. And this guy does his best stuff 24/7 and is passionate about it. And I thought today we could talk a little bit about recruiting, what it's like to recruit in the COVID era, what it's like to recruit in junior college compared to a four-year school. What should players be? I really think, Ryan, that it's like a mystery almost to most kids. What does it take to get a scholarship? What is it? They don't know. It's like, coach, can you help me out? Can you get me signed up with one of these teams? What does it take? And it's like, how do you get a coach to talk to you? Should they do the 10 million showcases? And man, there's so many things that I do know about this, but I know from your perspective, you're a rule guy and you know how it's all done, and you've seen this. I mean, you live this every day. So what do you see for players when you're looking to get a player to come to your school? What kind of requirements and what talents are you looking for?
Yeah, you gave me a lot to talk about there. So to start off, I think the first thing you mentioned is, the mystery of recruiting. The reason why it's a mystery is because there's no right way. There's no, this is the way you do it and boom, it happens. There are formulas that work better than others, but at the end of the day, it happens. It just happens. So I've taken kids out of camps. I've taken kids where I've gone and recruited them out of the high school. I've talked to kids for years. I've had kids walk into my office. We give them a workout and man, this guy works. So there's no rhyme or reason that guys get recruiting now or recruited. Take that part and you put it into, what does a high school kid do? Honestly, what's best for them? What's best for the high school kid? During this COVID time, it's tough for coaches to get out. NCAA Division I coaches are still not allowed out. I think it just got moved back to the end of May. So they won't be out at all this spring. Hopefully they get out this summer. Division II, Division III, NAIA, and junior colleges are all out and about and hustling, but everyone's waiting for that Division I program, which understand. So how can you market yourself to these programs? If you feel you're a Division I caliber player, how do you market yourself to these programs?
Have you been using a lot more video this last 10 months, or you guys just been trying to scramble through?
And as a junior college, we always move guys through. We take a ton of video, but a lot of my guys move on just because of my relationships with programs and us communicating with guys' needs. And if we have guys that match their needs, that's how our guys have been moving on. For the high school player, absolutely do video and quality video. find a coach that's willing to put their name on for you. I've seen some great stuff on social media where guys put videos out, and a player in my backyard who I'd never heard of, man, who's this guy? Let me go out and see what he does.
Who would you how would you recommend that they do that once they have this video? Would you like these players to send them to you? Would college coaches like them to send them, or would they rather have? Will they search certain video spots and like, is there a certain channel that you might post your stuff on, or how would it work best for a player?
Yeah, I'm not that social media savvy. I know if they put at and my Ryan Beckman 35 for my Twitter account, I see every video that comes through there. I see every video that gets emailed me. I will.
So I think that, Ryan, I think that the players are shy. I think that players, I swear, I think they're afraid to put something, like they don't want to be pushy.
And social media etiquette. I don't know what's right or wrong on social media, but I know what gets in front of me.
Right. So in other words, if a kid wants to play for you and thinks he can play for your college or any school, he needs to do a video and send it there. Take the bull by the horn, so to speak, right? And make it happen and put out a good video. Maybe have some even people talk for you on the video. Like, you have interview your high school coach.
Yeah. I've seen it all, and it's not wrong. I can tell you the videos I get, if I like it, the first thing I notice is the body of the player. Do they work out? Do they look physical? How do they look or move in the box or running or pitching? So the first thing I notice is the physicality of the player. If, wow, this looks all right, then I'll watch a little bit more. I'll watch some more swings. Very rarely do I watch an entire video. That's the one thing you need to know about the videos is I'm looking for certain things to see if it matches up with what's on my team right now.
Right. So maybe not make this video a tell-all when I'm on there and here I am. I live from so and so. So get on there and have your stuff ready. Show the coach what you got, and if he's interested, he'll come looking for more. Right. And so I tell
information. Make sure contact information, if they can edit the video or put contact information somewhere, so that if I see a video and I like it, we can call, email, text, or whatever.
What age group do you generally get interest from? I mean, is it always high school seniors? Is it junior college transfers?
So junior colleges are a little different. The 4-year schools will start recruiting guys their sophomore, junior, and then eventually their senior year, depending on it. As a recruiter, we want to be the first guy in at the right time. If I started talking to a guy right now as a sophomore in high school, I can talk to them. I cannot offer them. But if I want to talk to a guy and gauge their interest on junior college, they're going to look at me as, oh, they're just a junior college. Because as a sophomore, they still have the opportunity for a Division I school to recruit them. So they're looking for higher hopes, where we're viewed as the bottom of the barrel by some. I strongly disagree with that, but that's just the view of 16, 18-year-olds.
I want to get into that, Ryan. I want to get into that hard, and that might take us to the next thing. I mean, as far as these players, let's make sure we talk about it, because I don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
And,
so to answer your question, I start really focusing hard during their spring of their junior year into their senior summer. And then when they get to going into their senior summer or their senior year, the summer in between junior and senior year, that's when I start really writing down who the guys I want are and who we're going to move on. But recruiting never stops. My roster may be full June 1st, and by June 15th, a kid just had a change of feelings. This year, August 1st, I lost a catcher to a Power 5 program. Look, I get it. You want to go to a Power 5, go. Have fun, good luck. But that opened up another catching need for my roster, so I brought in a catcher late in August.
And that's tough, right? Because everybody's kind of committed. But that gives hope for the kid that, I mean, I know you're always looking for pitching and catching, right? I mean, first of all, pitching and catching.
Pitching and catching.
Right. But there's always hope for guys. I'm sorry.
You just never know what's going to come. There's always hope, like you're saying.
Yeah. So keep playing and keep going. And I've done the same with some catchers. Got them in last minute, with a number of catchers actually over the years that have gone to New York and whatever else, and because it's such a need. And what would you, if you could recommend something to players to get ready, to be ready for? Is there any particular position, like pitchers, they need to stay ready all the time? There's a number of guys that'll go. Do they need to fit a certain criteria? Do you look for strike throwers, hard throwers?
Oh gosh. Yes to all the above. Yes, I want guys that throw strikes. I want guys that throw hard. Our program's founded and develop and focuses on development. All right. So we'll take the mid 80s guy and work his tail off for 2 years, and he's going to leave a better pitcher with a little bit more velo. We'll take, on occasion, the low 80s guy because he has really good secondary stuff. Tyler Chambord is a great example. He came into our program. He was 79 to 83. This was 9 years ago. But he spun a slider, had great feel for a changeup, developed a curveball, and we just introduced him to the weight room and long toss, and we worked him really hard for 2 years. He left throwing 88, 91, went on to a program in need, and pitched in a super regional. So it's just a great story of that kid usually gets crossed off because the velocity is not there, but I needed a guy that could command off-speed pitches and throw strikes. So we gave him an opportunity, and things clicked, and it worked out great for him.
Right. And, in this era of guys learning how to pitch backwards, right, it's almost, I talked to so many pitchers, ex big league guys, and the current big league guys are going through it. My son-in-law, for instance, he learned how to pitch at a young age. And so many of these kids nowadays, all they're learning is how to throw cheese early on. And they're doing anything they can to throw hard. And then they get to you, right? Or they get to different programs, and they might have a good fastball, but they haven't figured out how to throw that wrinkle over the plate yet or make it consistent. And I know that makes it tough for some scouts and for some schools, right? Because, wow, this kid's got a live arm, of course he doesn't have a wrinkle yet. And you got to teach him that. I almost find, for me, if I can find a guy that can pitch, I'll give him a shot right off the bat, because to find somebody who doesn't have that kind of feel, it's hard to create that kind of feel, right? So I would bet more often than not, part of your prerequisite is to throw strikes.
Yeah, pitchability is a must when you keep advancing in levels. But it's the age-old argument: stuff over command, or command over stuff. What's important to you?
Right.
In our staff, we're not looking for one thing. We're only looking for guys with stuff. We're looking for guys that have an arsenal. We're looking to fill a staff of 12 guys that, hey, everybody complements everybody else, and how we build off each other really is going to take us to where we want to go. To answer your question, I get where kids are at. I want to be a big leaguer. I'm 36 years old. I want to be in the big leagues. I can't throw 99 miles an hour. So you move to what you got, those that can't play. Right. So that's where I'm at. But for a young high school player, you need to just focus on getting better every day. Understand the value of pitchability, understand the value of throwing hard, understand, hey, the easiest way to do and accomplish those things is to get in the weight room, to eat a healthy nutrition, to sleep at night. Like the formula really is simple, guys. It's just the commitment to it. I have a young middle infielder on my team right now, 150 pounds, great defender, good bat, does whatever you need, great teammate. Oh, coach, I can't eat. Like I eat nonstop. I'm always full. I just can't eat. Hey, look, here's the deal. I'm going to send you home from practice if you don't eat this peanut butter sandwich right now. And
I love it.
It's the bottom line of guys think they can't eat anymore. There's more there. You gotta eat protein. You gotta treat your body right. You gotta hydrate. You gotta do all the right things.
Isn't it funny, Ryan? All the stuff that, that was true.
It's true 40 years.
That was true. That was true when I was playing, right? I mean, my brothers were older, and our friends that went and played at higher levels and stuff. you found a way to get it done. It's not the guy who has the most talent all the time. It's the guy who wants it the most, right? And he's going to do all this extra stuff, and they don't get it. I get guys, right? All they want to do is hit. All they want to do is all they want to do is hit. They might take some ground balls, right? But how much are they in the weight room? How much are they doing speed work? How much are they eating? Right? They're like you're saying, they're 140, 150 pounds, and you go, dude, how about if we put the focus here on getting stronger? Because I know this sounds weird. It's not but it's a legitimate argument that the steroids made guys stronger, right? And so when you took a Barry Bonds and these other guys, and the best players on the planet, and you put them and you got them super strong, they did unbelievable things, right? Now, I'm not condoning steroids by any means. My point is that I could take a kid that's that same 150-pound player you're talking about, and let him stay where he's at right now, keep working on his skills, right? I'll take his twin, and tell me if I'm right, get your opinion on this. Take his twin and stop him from playing baseball every day. He only gets to do minimum amount of baseball, but he's going to live in the weight room for 6 months. And then 6 months later, I'm going to take that guy that's been living in the weight room and working on his speed and everything like that, and train him for 2 weeks just to be ready to play baseball. I'm going to play that other kid one-on-one. And I guarantee the kid on the right, who's not been playing baseball for 6 months and always prepped for 2 weeks, will wear him out probably, because he's going to be stronger. He's going to be faster. He's going to be like, that body at some point has to come into play. And these kids do. And this is what I'm leading up to. These kids just showcase. They spend their time showcasing and playing on travel teams that are traveling all across the country. They're hardly home, right? During the summer, they're home for like 2 days a week, 3 days, and then they're off travel. When are they getting stronger?
Yeah. And travel ball and showcasing have their place, but you've got to be aware of what you're showcasing. Travel ball, the value of travel ball for me is you're going out there to try to find the best arms you can face as a hitter. As a pitcher, you're trying to find the best bats you can face so that you know where you stand. If you go out there and you throw your 2 innings of travel ball and you get hit around the park, you need to evaluate, all right, what do I got to do to get better, and then do it. But strength and speed, they never slump, guys. They're always there. So getting stronger the right way, definitely against steroids. But the reason why steroids came about was because guys didn't know anything about recovery. With where we're at now in baseball, recovery is everything. And you look at professional baseball players and how their bodies recover. Well, it starts with hydration, sleep, getting electrolytes in their body the second they come off the field, and then eating properly and healthy. Those are the keys to being successful on the baseball field now. So steroids are becoming more of an afterthought in baseball, where 10 years ago they were the talk of the town, because now strength coaches know what they're doing. If you don't have a weight room, that's fine. Go out and do push-ups, do lunges, just jump as high as you can. Like, there are things you can do that benefit your movement and benefit your body without paying a membership, without paying a trainer, without paying a coach. But
Right, remember the long lines? Remember long lines?
Oh,
We
yeah.
have the long lines with hard ropes so you can pull your like box jumps. I used to
You
do
had that
everything.
wrapped around me. It was a bicycle tire tube. You would strap around my shoulders and force me to just run, and you hold it, and I'm trying to move you, and that was the greatest thing ever. And you look now at the hip extension, the drive, the force. Like, I was not a fast runner at all, but you made me faster just by challenging me to do some 1980s type training.
Dude, that's 1960s. That's Vince Lombardi stuff. The Exergene, the long line, and it's an unbelievable tool. I mean, I use it to this day. I have 2 of them in my shop. They got to do it when they do it, because if for anything it gets form. The point of it is jumping rope, right? It's the front, middle, and back of the shoulder. It's the whole shoulder. It's the pulling. It's all right there. And these kids, they need to learn that that's the stuff you need to be doing to get prepared. It's not just the fun stuff. I think everybody's sold on the lessons and just hitting. And I think it's just part of the package. Of course you have to hit, but how about getting stronger for hitting and getting quicker feet while you're doing it, jumping rope, making your throwing arm stronger. Your hands are stronger when you jump rope. You're gonna have better feet to play infield or be a catcher.
The values of lessons is like a checkup. It's a timing. It's getting into the doctor to see, oh, what do I got to do to get better? You're going to get better on your own. Jumping rope, name a position on the field that doesn't need their footwork to be really, really sharp. A catcher throwing down to second base is all about your footwork. A guy coming off the mound, your PFPs are all about your footwork. Every infielder is about their footwork. And in the outfield, when that ball hits the wall or you're trying to pick a ball up, it's all about how your feet are moving. So jumping rope is a staple of our program. And it should be a staple of any high school coach, any high school player that's trying to become more than they are.
Yeah, we introduced that. That's a mandatory thing. Everybody who comes in my shop, they got to jump rope. And so, and you'll make them, and you'll see that some kids come in there and they really take to it, right? And then 2 weeks later, they're already jumping better. Other kids, 6 months later, they're still doing the granny hop, the 2 double hops and all that. It's you can tell who's putting in the work.
And put on some music, make it a game. Put a T square on the ground and jump from one box to the other and challenge yourself to do different things. Do 1 foot, do 2 feet. Do it like you're Rocky Balboa, just come up.
That's what I tell people. I used to do, when Rocky came out, that was the show, right? I was a lineman. And my brothers were quarterback and tight end, and they were all world and everything. And I was the center. Right? I was like, I'm the pudgy kid in the family and stuff. And then Rocky came out. Rocky 2, actually, specifically more for me. By the time Rocky 2 came out, I was ready. I had the album. I would play the album, Ryan, and put it outside so I could hear it through the speakers. And I started jumping rope. And I worked that summer, went from offensive line to running back. And I was push mowing every day, and I jumped 5,000 jump ropes. Right. And it changed me in a summer, because I was just shredded wheat by the end of the summer. My hands were super strong, feet were super, I ran long lines all the time, and I transformed myself pretty much. And I tell that story to guys nowadays, and I try and get guys to go on it, younger players to go on. It's called a Vision Quest, named after the movie, the Vision Quest. And it's a wrestling movie with Matthew Modine. And this guy saw himself wrestling for a state championship at a certain weight, and he had to get prepared, right? And there's this Indian in the story, and he talks about where you see yourself in the future. And so I want to ask these kids, if you want to make a big change in your workout plan, if you want to change take a month or 2 months and make this your priority. And let's see how much ground you can make in 2, maybe even 3 months physically. And what'll happen after that 3 months will be not so much necessarily how great you've come physically, although you'll come a long way physically, but you'll have changed all your attitudes and how hard you can work after that 3 months. You'll never be able to work easier again, because you've pushed yourself to a new limit. There's a new starting point for you, something that's acceptable for you. You know what I mean? You've worked so hard now. I need to be, that's not good enough. I need to spend another hour in there, and it teaches you to drive more and more and more. And these kids will, to me, how do I say this? As a coach, they don't know what it takes, right? And we have to kind of show them. So here we are, you and I talking. We've seen this happen so many times, and you try and tell them what it's going to take, and they kind of, shrug you off, like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're old school. You're just They don't understand.
When you talk about Vision Quest, ask them to put together, it's called the YTP, a yearly training plan. When are their games? How are they getting better to perform well in their games? Are you burning yourself out by trying to do too much? I'm a firm believer, especially in the off season, you can't do everything every day. You can't, as an infielder, go out, take ground balls, hit the weight room, get in the batting cage. You're going to burn yourself out if you're doing things for 2, 3, 4 hours a day. And we train a lot at the facility here, we have a lot of minor league and big league guys come through. Even in the off season, these guys are going 7 hours a day, but they're doing it properly. And they're focusing on what they need to focus on for that day. And they never go 2 days without hitting an area. So if I don't want to take ground balls today, that's okay, because it's off season mode, but tomorrow I'm going to take ground balls. if, you know what, my body's kind of tired, I'm going to skip the weight room today, but I'm going to make sure I get my hitting done. It's just understanding the big picture of, hey, everything I need to do as a baseball player, and then going out and doing it,
Right.
and
And
it,
they don't get it too. These younger kids coming out of high school definitely don't get it. Right. I'll ask them, all they want to do is lift and hit. They lift and hit. And it's like, okay, so you want to have somebody pay for your school. You want someone to pay you to go to college and have you're going to get an education for free and play. But do you know what it takes? I mean, are you willing to do the work? Because you're going to need to take grounders. You're going to do speed work. You got to be in the weight room. You got to hit infield. Everything there. It's a lot of work, not just hitting and right. And playing a little catch isn't going to do the trick when you're competing against everybody who's going to be in college.
yeah, the first 6 weeks of our fall, which is, hey, welcome to college, is focused all on defense and weight training. We usually don't even let them hit most days in those first 6 weeks, just because it's not necessary for us. We have plenty of time for you to hit. We have plenty of time to make changes to the swing. What's necessary for us right now is for you to understand the value of your defense and the value of the weight room.
Your weight room is. How did you pull that off? I mean,
I have
Ryan's facility is the old Phillies facility in downtown Clearwater. That how many Hall of Famers and everything have played. I mean, it's like it's it's uh, it's iconic. I mean, if you go down to the Rolling Stones played there in 1969, and there was a brawl, not a brawl, a riot happened. I mean, this place is iconic, and Ryan worked it out that when they built the new stadium, he worked out with the city that he got this stadium, and they've turned it into like it's the bomb. They got all the cages, and they have a world class weight room there, and all the players still know where that place is located for sure. So I'm sure they're all hitting you up.
the history that is at Jack Russell Stadium is second to none. Maybe Yankee Stadium, but it's a special place for many reasons. We've done our best to upkeep it and make it our own. But it is a fun area to be a baseball guy in, when you consider the Blue Jays up the street. The real Phillies are just up the street across from campus. The Yankees across the bridge. The Pirates and Tigers are not far away. Like, this is just a great baseball area, and I'm very fortunate just to be a part of it.
It's so true, and it. I mean, I love just driving up to that park, because it was like I've been driving up to that park since I've been in Florida, and it's great when you get out there. That feel of the same wall, right? It's got the same wall out there. Um, they say there's ghosts, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm the self-proclaimed historian of the place. There is rumors of ghosts, whether that's just me being in an old building by myself late at night or what, but there are definitely ghosts in my opinion.
I've heard that. I've heard that. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between for players. Um, you spoke earlier about how players want to be. They all want to be D1, right? And they wait till all of their other prospects expire, and then all of a sudden they kind of settle, and almost to the point that going to a junior college is like you haven't you're not a great player. You didn't make the D1. You didn't get to go to Florida State or University of South Florida or Miami or any of these big D1s, right? So you're a failure. Like, right. That's what I think it must almost be, because these kids who get an offer from any of these schools, they seem to want to jump on them. And to me, it's like, isn't playing and development kind of where you want to be at that point? You're probably not just wanting to play college. You might be looking at playing a little bit of pro. Wouldn't getting the at-bats, since you need thousands of at-bats to be a next level, highest level hitter, is going to take you a lot of high quality at-bats to get that. You're not going to get that on the bench. But I think they feel like literally they can come to college, they can come to high school, and they got their jersey on, right? They got their college on their thing, and then they're proclaiming, "I made it," right? You know what I mean? It's like they walk into my shop, right, and they got the college shirt on. It's like, they're cool now. And I see this. You tell me if I'm not, these kids stop working as hard when they get that jersey on. A lot of times.
Yeah,
Seems to.
and 100%. And let's not blame the kids here. Who doesn't want to go to a Division I program? I fully understand it, but you need to go to the right Division I program for you. You need to go to a place where you're going to play right away. You're going to need to go to a place where at the end of your 4 years, your name is on the wall. Because going there just to wear the swag, just to have the Nike, just to have all the bells and whistles, that's great if that's what you want. But if you want to play Major League Baseball, if you want to be the best baseball player you can be, you need to make sure you're getting everyday at bats. Because that's the biggest key to developing. You need to make sure you're getting innings on the mound. Uh, don't get me wrong, technology and the world out there right now, baseball is a crazy place and it's awesome. All of it is awesome. But you need to make sure that you're involved in it, because if you're sitting on the bench, oh, I'm practicing, oh, I'm doing this, 15 at bats is not going to get you better. We have Scott Meneas in big league camp with the Astros. He went to a Division I program out of high school. He got 3 at bats as a freshman. They took away his entire freshman year over 3 at bats. I think it was a walk, a strikeout, and a ground ball.
And they would not grant him any red shirt of any kind, or
no red shirt was granted. He transferred to us and got 250 at bats. Ended up signing as a free agent because he overpriced himself a little bit and took less money as a free agent. Got traded from the Mets to the Astros, and now he's in big league camp with the Astros. So it doesn't happen if he doesn't get 250 at bats that sophomore season. We're just a small piece of the pie for him because we had the opportunity to write his name in the lineup card every day. He did it on his own. He got himself to the level he's at. He continued to work when he got into the minor leagues because he has something to prove to a lot of people. But out of high school, he didn't make the right choice. The program he went to is very respectable. He does a great job. It just was, hey, you're the 4th catcher. This is what the 4th catcher gets. So when you're finding that program, you just got to find the program where you're going to be successful. Whether it's junior college, Division II, Division I, NAI, it doesn't matter. Playing baseball is playing baseball. And that's what you got to focus on as a high school player. During the COVID times, scholarships are getting cut from small college programs, big college programs. Things are tight right now across the board. So don't disrespect an opportunity to play baseball because you may not have another one. If you're fortunate enough or you're good enough to have multiple opportunities, that's great. Now interview the recruiter. Hey, how are you going to get me better? What do you see to get me better? What's the formula to get me better? Like, what are we going to do? And where do you see me fit in? For my program, I will not promise a starting job. I just won't do it because I've had the top recruit ever come into here and man, this guy can't even make it through our fall right now because he shut it down when he committed. Oh man, I'm great. I'm going to be a guy. It didn't work out. So then when he wasn't on the bench, he was upset. Well, you're not better than the walk-on that just took your job. That walk-on's been working the entire time. He's won the job, man. You're hitting 100. He's hitting 400. What's the difference?
Right.
And then I've had Dustin Harris was first team All-American, got drafted, won everything you can win in as far as accolades are concerned, with the exception of National Player of the Year and State Player of the Year, because he got second to a guy in the state of Florida, and that guy won the National Player of the Year award. So Dustin was, we liked him because he was a lefty bat, but it wasn't, oh man, this guy's going to come in and be world class. It was, hey, this guy's a good player, works hard, gets after it. You know what? I think he'll help us out. I don't know where, but he'll probably have to come off the bench as a freshman. He got in the starting lineup the second game of the season, and I don't think I took him out for 2 years. So you just got to work hard, and when opportunities come, be ready for them.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to counsel against some of these players going to these bigger schools because a lot of them are going to fall into that, and you don't want to see it, right? You can see it coming, and you're going, make the right choice here. just because it's a D1, that's why I say I think they look at it like it's a trophy, right? Like I've accomplished something now that I'm D1. Then all of a sudden they get to that school and they go, whoa, this isn't everything it was built up to be. Look at the guys that are out here. I got juniors and seniors in front of me that are bad to the bone. And I still need to put on 15 pounds. And wow, I wish I would have went to that junior college and got some playing time in. And they don't realize the caliber of baseball that's being played. They don't even realize that this is probably the right step to make. I mean, it's the draftable kids, right? They're coming right out of there. If you're going to go to the D1 and play right off the bat, you are truly a badass, right? And a lot of these kids that are going to have to develop, and if they want those at bats, it's almost like the recommended thing to do. And you see it more often than not. These guys try to bite off. At least I've seen it so much. They try to bite off that D1 apple, and they end up struggling, and they have to come back to the junior college, which is where most of you guys get your players, right? You guys recruit from a lot of from schools that guys are returning from D1s and D2s.
You know, I'm not a heavy transfer recruiter. I do take them when there's a connection involved, where a alumni, a friend, or someone gives me a call and says, "Hey, this person's left this program and wants to come to you." I don't openly recruit the portal, the NCAA portal. I don't even. I want no part of that, to be honest with you. What I want part of is guys that want to get better. And again, I will never blame a high school kid for going to a 4-year program. The value in them is incredible if it's the right fit. But there's oftentimes the decisions are made not because of this is a right fit. The decisions are made because, oh man, I really like the area. I really like the academic program. What are you looking to study? Oh, business. Every college in America, I think, has a business program. So, you know, when you look at the academic factors, the baseball factor, the social factor, you're going to be good at 2 of those 3 things in college: your baseball, your social, or your academics. If you're good at baseball and you have a good social life, your academics are going to suffer. If you're good at have a great social life, have great academics, your baseball is going to suffer. If you
And that's
have
fantastic. I haven't heard that before, but that is true. That's true.
if you want to be a good college baseball player and have your name on the wall, be good at baseball, have great academics, and put your social life on hold for 5 years.
Yeah, I also think there's a value in the like with kids who do want to go to the 4-year program, right? I have a kid that's playing at Alabama right now, and really good player, and he had to kind of weigh, you know, if I was going to go possibly professional or go to University of Alabama, and looking back at it for me, I had to call him back after I talked to him once because I was like, my college experience was so fantastic that you can't just put a money sign on, like what's it worth, you know, just blah blah. The idea of going to school with people that are your age, right, and you're competing against kids that you competed against in high school or in an all-star game somewhere, right, and you're playing these guys in a, you know, collegiate age, and it's your school against theirs, and in building all that's worth a lot to me, and because it's a lifetime thing, right? You spend these years doing at the school. Why just race through it and just do it as a way to forward your baseball? And at the end of the day, it's all about bucks, or isn't it about having a great experience? Because most people aren't going to make it to the big leagues.
No kidding.
I mean, big number, but the chances are you're not going to play in the big leagues, so you better have a good experience.
Yeah, and when you talk about the college atmosphere, getting into a good ball game in college, there's nothing better. The fans are going crazy, COVID-friendly year. There's nothing better than that atmosphere. The high school rivalry game type atmosphere is great. The minor leagues are special. They're different. There's little rewards along the way that make you feel like, oh, this is special. But you got to find out what you love about the game of baseball. You know, do you love when the crowd goes crazy, or you know what, I can play in front of 5 people and I could care less? Is it about loving your teammates? Is it about, you know what, I just want individual success? because professional baseball, it's changing. It's got a ton of changes coming. You don't get that rivalry game. This is fun. This is exciting until the big leagues or some AAA levels, or in the Mexican League or the Caribbean Series or something like that. Like you're trying to find what you love about baseball and what's going to drive you to be the player that you want to be. If you put yourself in a bad situation, you may never achieve your potential. Because if I'm in a negative attitude, I'm not going to want to go to the field. Here I am. All right, another day. Coach hates me. Here we go. If I'm in a situation where, man, I just want to be home right now. I don't even want to be here. I'm out. I'm out west. I don't even know what I'm doing out here. I've never seen a cactus before, and I just bumped into one. And you got to be where you want to be. If you want to be at home, go be at home. If you want to be on the road, go be on the road. If you want to be in college, be in college. If you want to be in pro, be in pro. But don't play this game just because, whatever. Oh, this is everyone's goal, whatever. Play this game because you want to play it. Play this game because you have goals that you want to achieve within the game.
Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, I was talking with a professional scout the other day, and he's been around for a long time, right? And he was telling me, you're talking about where you're living at and the amount of sacrifice that has to go into this type of stuff. And he said most kids haven't been to see what it takes to do in college, right? What it's like to be a college player, and never mind being a professional player. If they knew how much work went into it, right, that they might view it a little bit differently. And if they saw the talent that was out there, they might view it a little bit differently. So
go
he would recommend go to the park and watch some of these games and see what you say you want to be a college player and you want to be a professional player. Well, how about if you go to some games and actually see what a college game's like, what a college practice is like, that you're going to find out you're practicing and working out a lot more than you're going to play games.
Yeah. I think every high school player needs to see whatever the closest college to their house is, go watch that team play multiple times. Don't just go one time and say, oh yeah, I can hang out there. Go multiple times, because anyone can have a bad day, all this stuff. Go multiple times and then walk away and say, you know what? I can do that. Or I'm better than that. Or you know what? I'm not there yet. I've got to get better. With COVID, there's so many players available right now. The cream's going to rise to the top. So the guys getting recruited have to be better than everyone before them. If you were an average high school player before, you'd find a way to a college roster. You have to be above average now. You have to offer something special to get the opportunities that you're looking for.
And so maybe they need to double up on their videotaping and making sure they get it all to the coaches, right? Because it's recruiting, as you say, is a little bit harder than it was in the past.
Recruiting's harder, but I would double up on my weight room time. I would double up on my plyometrics. I would double up on my defense. Like, yeah, you'll get videos out there, but okay, your video got me to the yard. Now I'm here to watch you play. What are you going to do there? I can take a guy that has some physicality and teach him how to play baseball at my level. I can, I don't like the way his feet move, but man, his bat's good. His body's good. Let's go. It's tough for me to take a weak-bodied guy and get them better because I only have 2 years. I have a very small amount of time to get guys better. Their strength training program needs to start in high school or before, properly before. But getting stronger is the biggest key to being a college player.
Yeah, that's good information right there. These guys, I keep a squat rack in my facility for that reason, right? So these guys can, it's please use this. We can go over it. We got all kinds of information for you on how to do this and how to go about it. And then you run into the high school football coaches or strength trainers that basically most of the injuries I see are due to problems in the weight room, right? Because they're deadlifting 7,000 pounds and they're 14 years old or 15 years old. And so they go from not doing any strength and conditioning to now they're lifting like they're going to play nose guard for the Cowboys, right? and they don't have any good technique and they get hurt. They hurt their back, they hurt their shoulders because they're going crazy. It's they have to get smarter with it too.
You've got to monitor your workload and make sure you're just gradually increasing. You don't want to go here and then you're up there. That's how injuries happen. Monitor your workload. If you don't know what you're doing, ask for help. You may not get the answer you want. Our guys, the first week when they return in August, whether they were here last year or not, we do a lot of squats without a bar, without weight, without anything, just to know if they squat. We do record our guys in those initial squats so that if my eye doesn't pick up on it when I go back and watch the video and I see his knees bowing in, oh man, this guy has poor mechanics or what, so that I know he can't get weight if those knees are bowing in or bowing out, because right now his body, he can't even handle his own body weight. So
right.
You've got to just monitor. I have one guy, he can squat the house, but if you put him on a single leg, he's the worst mover we have. This is a single leg sport more times than not. So we had to monitor his single leg actions compared to his squat actions. So you just got to monitor your workload. If you don't know what you're doing, ask for help. There's so many resources, social media. I always go back to it just because you have access to. Eric Cressy responds to your questions. Cressy, the best baseball trainers in the country. Donovan Santos, like, you have access to people. You just have to reach out to them on social media.
Hey, when you're recruiting, one other thing would be, how much do you look at attitude and like body language of a player? Like you see some player and he's a fantastic looking player and you like it and everything, and all of a sudden something doesn't go his way, and you see these guys. Have you seen that? Does that hurt players often? Bad attitudes. Does it turn you off?
Yeah, it turns you off. There are guys that, you know what, that program doesn't. That's a part of their program. I'll give you an example. We played a team from South Korea. South Korea bat flips. I didn't know that. So my team, we're getting offended because they're bat flipping every double home run. It was, let's see how far we can hit it in bat flip. Well, they're a professional team, we're a college team. We kind of went into the game knowing we were going to get smoked, but the bat flipping thing was a part of that team. It was a part of that culture. We didn't know until the end of the game. So if you were to watch that game, you're thinking, wow, those guys are arrogant, those guys are jerks, whatever. You know what? That's a part of their program. So you just got to do your homework as a recruiter to know, hey, you know what? They're in a bad environment right now. If you can change their environment, you might be able to change the player. But that's where getting to know the player, getting to know the player's family. I have kids that I've missed before. I brought them in. I thought, you know what? This is a good kid. I can't wait to work with this kid. And then shortly after, wow, this kid's kind of a handful. This kid really doesn't want to play baseball. This kid did everything, said everything right. He's the model recruit. And then he comes here wearing your uniform and everything goes south. That's where the one-on-one time comes in. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? All right, here's a chance to change. Here's another chance to change. If I've got to ask you to change your ways 3 times for the benefit of your teammates, this probably is not the right team for you. That's a firm reality of, you know what? I'll bring you in if you bat flip or you do the stuff that I don't like. But if you can't change your ways to match up what your teammates need, we're not the right fit for you.
So and you've also, I'm sure, seen guys where you're kind of on the fence and then they outright show you their disgust of their last play or how they're doing, and then you just kind of you had me there for a minute, right? You had me there. I was in your corner, and then all of a sudden you keep showing me that you're going to be a problem because you let everything interrupt you, and you probably move on to the next player.
Yeah, my center fielder, the day I went out there, I went to watch a catcher, a very good catcher, college catcher. He did good. We offered him, didn't work out. But in that same game, I saw a center fielder go 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, but he was having a blast. He was having fun. He was smiling, running off the field. I didn't watch him walk out there once. He sprinted out to his position. The guys that look like they're having fun playing baseball are the guys that we recruit. If it looks like, oh, this game, 8 a.m. travel ball game, oh, this is a nightmare, you can always find something to complain about. You can always find
Yeah.
something to complain about in this game. Have fun with where you're at. Hey, we got the 8 a.m. game. Yeah, we're going to get 2 wins here, and then we're going to go out to Dairy Queen for some ice cream. Like, that's the guy I want on my team. I don't want the guy that, oh gosh,
It's a chore, right? It's a chore. God, man, play it.
Go play soccer. Go do something else with your life. Like, you don't have
Could be worse. Could be worse, right? You're playing baseball. Wow. I mean, really? I mean, any time to play baseball is a pretty good time.
get out there and have fun. That's what sports are about. Fun.
Well, academically, last but not least, academics. How much do you guys have to worry about that? And is that a factor that steers a lot of kids toward junior college? Does that happen often where the player is being recruited by a Division I or II team, level team, and their grades are that bad that they can't get in, or how's that work?
Yeah, that does happen at junior college level. At the junior college level, we can get anyone into the school as long as they have a high school diploma or a GED. The things we can't do is go to class for you. We can't do the assignments for you. You still have to want to be good academically. Um, you know, that doesn't mean we can't take the 4.0 kid either. I'll tell you right now, the kids I have that are 3.8 GPAs or higher are always some of the best guys and get the best Division I offers with their grades. So I'll give you an example of Jacob Wright. Jacob Wright was a 4.0 out of high school, came here because he had no other opportunities. Was a 4.0 with us, finished up at University of Pitt, and was on a very good package because of his academic load. The high academic guy that is still highly academic out of junior college is only going to be more successful with finding that next home, as long as their talent and ability match up with the level. But if you're a low academic guy out of high school, low academic guy out of college, even if your talent is bar none some of the best, you may not get the opportunities that you want because you're not the right fit for the job. If this is a resume and your resume is your academics, your baseball ability, boom, 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 and we put you out there to all the teams looking for guys, you know what? There's so many resumes out there. Look at the players you play with. Every team's got 20 guys on it. You're one of 20. So there are 20 resumes in your locker room right now. You're one of 20. So what separates you from the other guys? What separates you? For us, St. Pete College, you guys are up at Northwest Florida. Why is Northwest Florida going to recruit you? Why is St. Pete College going to recruit you compared to everybody else?
Right, and if you're a grade risk, then you're risking your program, right? If you invest in guys like that and you get them on there, that they better be a real heck of a player, and even at that point, if they are a big enough risk, you have to guard against that, right? And make sure you're getting players with better grades. So it just makes sense, right?
You can't play college baseball if you can't make grades. Bottom line, you don't have.
I always tell kids it's an extracurricular activity, right? Baseball. So without the curriculum, you don't get to do the extra stuff, right? So, well, awesome, man. I'm trying to remember what else I wanted to ask you. I'm sure I left out 50 questions that I had, but wow, that was thorough. And this will help guys that are out there wondering how they do this mystery of getting into college baseball and how it works. I guess the last thing I would say on junior college to 4-year school, in my opinion, is not only is it better because you're going to get to play right off the bat, right? Some players might not need 3 or 4 years to be ready to go professional, right? Or they may need 1 or 2 years of seasoning before they're ready for college. So there's just so many different scenarios that I just wanted to point out that's to me that you have to look at it like that. If you think you're going to be ready and you're not a great student and you think you're going to be ready in a year or you're almost draft ready now. If you've another 10 pounds or whatever, you think you're going to be ready. Why would you sign up for a 4-year school when you can't do anything until after your junior year, right? So it wouldn't make sense to do it then. So I think players need more counseling, and there really isn't anything out there, right? They think that they can't talk to coaches. They're afraid to talk to coaches. They're nervous to talk to coaches, and there's so much gray area out there. I'm just trying to do, what you need to do? You need to start like a blog of NCAA rules, and here's how it works. And
here's what I'll say is players oftentimes, in my opinion, they don't get the answer that they want to hear. They want to hear, oh yeah, go D1. Go D1. You're going to be great. Go D1. You know what? D1 may not be the right option for you. And no one wants to hear that. And I understand why. Oh, well, that player went D1 and I'm better than him. I understand. It may not be the right option for him either. You've got to decide. And it's tough as a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid, 15 at some points, to really, gosh, what's the right move for me? And they don't know. This is the first time they're going through it. As a coach for 25 years, Scott, you've been going through it for that amount of time. I've been going through it for 16 years. I've watched others go through the process. I've done this over and over and over again and seen the stories play out. This is their first time doing it. So we can't fault the kid. We can only really evaluate. The player has to evaluate themselves and where they stand. The player has to evaluate and say, you know what? This is what's important to me. This is who I am. I care about swag. I care about airplane trips. I care about per diem and meals and being around a fraternity and football games. And those are the things I care about. Go to that school. You know what? I don't care about anything other than being on the baseball field. I want to be with the best coach. I want to be with the best this. I want to be with the best that. I want to be close to home. I want to be away from home. Whatever it is, figure out what you want and then find the schools that match what you want and send them your stuff. Contact them, connect with them.
Right. And probably last but not least, use common sense, and you're getting ready for the next level and you want to play at the next level. And if getting stronger and faster isn't in your game plan, you probably have a flawed plan.
Yeah.
Right. You need to be getting stronger and faster, getting ready for your next level if that's what you're trying to do. Well, Coach, I want to say thanks, man. It's always great hooking up with you.
God, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you taught to me 20-something years ago. We still use a lot of those phrases and the things that you taught to me way back when and the things you're still teaching to me, we use pretty much every day down here. So thank you.
I appreciate it, Ryan. And it's been a blast watching you get where you've gotten and how hungry you still are for baseball, man. It's fantastic to see somebody that excited. It really is. So I appreciate it, brother.
Well, thank you, Scott.
We'll see you soon.